Video number 2. How do I get paid in boot camp? Do we get paid in boot camp? Should I set up a banking account? What do I do about the banking account I have at home? Should I keep my Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, etc., etc., etc.? Well, I am here to try to help you make that decision for yourself, okay? Yes, you get paid in boot camp. You start getting paid the minute you fly out from MEPS. You will go to MEPS typically the night before you ship. You will awaken at an ungodly hour, 3 or 4 in the morning, to go sit at MEPS and then wait. You do your last bit of processing there, and then you fly out on the plane to Great Lakes. If you're within a certain amount of miles, you will take a bus. But I took a plane. From that moment that you're at MEPS, getting processed and ready to ship, you are being paid by the government. Your pay starts then. It takes a little bit, just like any, I think a lot of you have held jobs. I mean, plenty of you are coming right out of high school. Maybe you've never had a job before. But if you've ever started a job, you know that it takes a little bit of time before the pay cycle to catch up, because you work. This is always hard for me to explain, but it makes so much sense, and I don't understand why this is difficult for me to explain. When you start working at a new job, the pay cycle is 2 weeks behind, typically. So depending on what day you get there in boot camp, it may be an entire month before you see your first paycheck. You get paid on the 1st and 15th of each month. Some banks pay you a little bit earlier, like Navy Federal or USAA, I know, pays you a little early. I'll tell you why later if I remember to. And just like when you quit that job, you'll still get a paycheck after you've already quit, because it's like a 2-week lag. So it's typical. So if I go to boot camp on April 10th, like I did, I went in April 10th, I'm not going to see the paycheck for the 15th, because they've already started processing those paychecks for people to receive on the 15th. So I'm going to get there the 10th, work until the 15th. I'm not going to get a paycheck the 15th because I just came in the middle of that billing payment cycle, and then I'm going to work the 2 weeks, and maybe I'll see my check on the 1st for the 10th through the 15th. It's lagged. Bloop, bloop, bloop. But eventually you'll get paid. You will get paid in boot camp. I was the yeoman. I had to go pick up LES, leave and earning statements from the building that's really, really far from my ship, and I had to double time, and I got a demerit ship for running in the street, etc., etc. Big long story. You get LES, leave and earning statements, and you can see how much you're getting paid. And yes, if you are an E3, you will get E3 pay. If you're an E2, you'll get E2 pay. If you're an E1, you'll get E1 pay. I was an E3, and I got E3 pay from the moment I shipped out to MEPS until this very day and age, because I've taken the exam 3 times and I haven't passed it. But that's neither here nor there. So you will see your LES, okay, I would have to sort the LESs, leave and earning statements, and dish them out to people. And typically, it's going to be a little different if you have children, if you have dependents living from you, etc. But a single E1 every 2 weeks, after taxes and stuff got taken out, got about $500 every 2 weeks. I, as an E3, got about 700 something bucks every 2 weeks, to give you a rough estimate. Then, in reference to how will you receive your paychecks. Okay, so I had Bank of America before I left to, if you have a Navy Federal, you can keep your Navy Federal, just bring your routing number and your checking account number, and they can directly deposit, or bring a voided check, and they can automatically start putting your check into your bank account. They can do that for Bank of America also if you want. Just bring all of your bank information. I had bills coming out of Bank of America. I had car insurance. My mouth did a weird twitch. I had car insurance, cell phone payment, probably a couple of other random things, automatically withdrawing out of my Bank of America. So when I got to boot camp, within the first couple days that you're there, I think it happened during P days. Within the first few days that you're there, you'll end up going to this giant room and you'll have different banks try to sell their bank to you. And they give you like 3 or 4 different options. Navy Federal was there. Like they have a representative from Navy Federal come up to you and talk to you and tell you how great it is. And if you'd like to join, here are the papers, whoop, whoop, whoop. Then they had USAA there. They had the other armed forces one, I don't know what, something there. And maybe another? Maybe there was just 3. I don't know. But there's some options you have if you don't have a bank at all. Or you can choose to keep the bank that you've already got. What I did was I kept my Bank of America, and then I also signed up for a Navy Federal because I love Navy Federal. I have my checks going into Navy Federal. Bank of America would pay me on the 1st and on the 15th. Navy Federal, as a credit union, once they receive the payment from the government, they can't hold that money and wait until the 15th to pay you. So whenever they get it, they'll send it to you. Like if it's a weekend and Monday is a holiday and Tuesday is supposed to be your payday, you'll often get paid that Friday. So everyone waits Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Then on Tuesday they'll get paid. Oftentimes I've been paid Friday from Bank of America, so I get the money on the weekend. Anyhow, their customer service is great. They offer like a withdraw. Like if you overdraw your account, I think you can go, they'll offer a thing where you can go negative in your account, $500, and then when your check comes, it'll just bring you back up minus what you've owed type situation. And they're very generous and forgiving in that kind of situation. And they're basically on all the Navy bases everywhere around a Navy base somewhere. So I think Navy Federal is a good one to have. USAA is great too, but I don't ever really see USAA banks. I have my car insurance through USAA, my renter's insurance through USAA, because I think they actually were cheaper than Navy Federal insurances. But I just don't see USAA very much. But their customer service is unbelievably great also. But I just really love Navy Federal. So I got a Navy Federal. So then when you're at boot camp, and I advise getting Navy Federal when you're at boot camp if you have bills to manage, because there's a Navy Federal at boot camp. And when you are there at boot camp, when everyone else is training, whatever they're doing, learning how to fold and stuff, you can ask the RDCs, like, yo, I need to go to the bank. I need to set up these payments. I have to be paying rent on the outside. Like, I have car payments due. I need to handle this. You will go to that bank, and there's like a legit bank there, and they will help you sort everything out. So I would advise bringing all of your information that you need as far as bills go. Like, I already had money saved in my Bank of America, so I was okay with that. So when I got my Navy Federal checking account, they walk you through it. You sign up. I had the government Navy pay go into the Navy Federal. And then eventually I went to the Navy Federal there. I asked the RDCs if I could go to the bank, and they're like, sure. So then I went to the Navy Federal there, and I had Navy Federal put an allotment to my Bank of America. I had all my Bank of America account information, and every time I got paid, then a little chunk of it would go into my Bank of America. And you can set up allotments for everything. So have your information for any credit card bills you have due that you need to have automatically sent out, or your car payment or whatever, because then you'll go to the bank, Navy Federal Credit Union there in boot camp, and then you'll be like, I need $500 a month going to these people, I need $50 a month going to these people, something, etc., whatever. And they can set it all up there for you. And you'll be able to just pay your bills and stuff like that. Okay? So there's some options. You can keep your bank like I did. I kept my Bank of America because when you deploy to other countries, Bank of Americas are everywhere in the world. Bank of America is huge. It's everywhere. When I go home on leave, there's not a Navy Federal there in the middle of nowhere where I am, but there is a Bank of America. So I kept my Bank of America just because it's convenient to have, because there's almost always a Bank of America everywhere, it seems like. And just in case I ever needed a bank to go to for whatever reason, I have one, Bank of America, and then I've got my Navy Federal. So that's what I did, and that's how you get paid, and everything like that. There was something I mentioned in the beginning of the video that I said I was going to talk about later, but I don't even remember what it was. So I'll probably have the answer for whatever I mentioned in the beginning in the description if you feel like reading the description, which hardly any of you do. But I'll write it down there because I don't remember what it was, but it was something. Okay.